When we look at challenges for London, one of our challenges is just the number of people that we have here. Our population is set to increase by about 37% to more than 11 million people by 2050. Now, that's going to compound the existing housing challenge, which the Mayor is facing into. It also is going to compound some of the social challenges we have. Some work that the Sustainable Development Commission did looked at quality of life indicators, and they identified a gap of 9 years life expectancy between those people living in the affluent borough of Kensington and Chelsea and those people living in Tower Hamlets. But we have a phenomenal economy, around 432,000 businesses, an economy valued at about 338 billion and 5.6 million jobs. London is an amazing place. It's an amazing place for innovation as well. When we look at the challenges that we face, Einstein said of insanity that it's continuing to do what you've always done whilst expecting a different result. We really need to be innovative in order to face into the challenges and the opportunities that London faces. We are a centre of finance, and finance will need to underpin our investment in housing and infrastructure and creating that green and clean tech economy. We're also a centre for research and development. We have some of the world's leading universities here, and the research and development and the innovation that will come from them, we need to harness to help this city to grow sustainably. We're also an amazing centre for diverse skills. Talking of diverse skills, the Sustainable Development Commission, when it was reconstituted, brought together skills from a variety of different areas in order to hopefully address some of the challenges that we face. And the Mayor has asked us to focus on 3 areas: green business and clean tech, the circular economy, and decentralised energy. And this all goes to support the Mayor's infrastructure plan, which will enable London to meet the challenges posed by a population that is growing significantly. Let's look at the green economy first, and this plays right into the space of jobs. This is the current projected growth of the green economy in London. The Commission published a report earlier this year, in fact, I think it might have been the tail end of last year, in fact, called Green Means Business, and has set out an ambition to actually increase that growth from a target of 53 billion by 2025 to 69 billion by 2025. That's a 9% growth, and we think that is realistic. That will create jobs, it will address some of the environmental challenges that we have, and it will help people to move around this city sustainably as well. We can be, and we should be, an international hub for green innovation. We have the financial capability, we have the scientific knowledge, we have the skills, and interestingly, we're not only just Europe's largest city, but we have an immense customer base. We're also Europe's greenest city, with 35,000 acres of public parks, woodland gardens, meaning that nearly 40% of our surface area is made up of publicly accessible space. Interestingly enough, London is also the second largest tech hub after California. It's also the largest city, as I said, in Europe, with that immense customer base. So when we're looking at the vision for what green and clean tech could look like in London, our eyes are turned to the west of London, to Imperial West, to Old Oak Common and Park Royal, where there is massive infrastructure investment taking place. And we would love to see that area become a centre for innovation in green and clean tech. and a draft route map is going to be produced by the Commission in the autumn. Let's turn now to the circular economy. All of these people consume a lot of stuff and they dispose of a lot of stuff. At the moment, we have a linear model and we need to move to a circular economy in order to capture the resources and ensure that actually we protect London from spikes in resource prices. The London Infrastructure Plan sets out our ambition to significantly reduce the amount of waste required for disposal and accelerate that transition to a circular economy. The Green Alliance estimate that on a UK level, 81% is still linear and a maximum of 19% is circular. And we need to shift that balance massively if we're going to achieve what we need to achieve. Modelling by Arup has shown that there are significant economic benefits for reducing the impacts and the cost of waste management, creating new businesses and employment opportunities, and supporting industry to hedge its exposure to commodity price volatility and supply chain disruption. Interestingly, and you'll have seen on the VT earlier a mention of Oxford Street, but if you look at Bond Street alone, there are 50 different contractors collecting waste from Bond Street. We need to join up our infrastructure if we have any chance of making this happen. Modelling has shown that we'll need around 40 new facilities required in addition to London's existing facilities to take advantage of our need to move to a circular economy. And those facilities will be doing, amongst other things, recycling, but also creating repair, disassembly, and reprocessing. So our next steps are producing a route map in October this year, working with the GLA on procurement, where they can look at their own material handling and procurement across the GLA group, and that includes Transport for London, the Met Police, and the London Fire Brigade. Working with the Infrastructure Delivery Board, chaired by the Mayor, and a circular economy subgroup that's been formed as part of that. And also sharing best practice with other cities around the world, potentially the C40 that we're also part of. And decentralised energy. If we think about movement in London, and we think about the air pollution challenge for people living in London, and the carbon challenge that we face, and the noise challenge that we face, we're being driven, if you excuse the pun, very much towards electric vehicles. Between 2013 and 2014, sales of electric vehicles in the UK rose by 45%. It's from a low base, because that's only 3,660 vehicles sold in 2014. It's small, but it's growing significantly. Contrast that with Europe. Still small numbers, but in Europe there was a 281% increase in the Netherlands, a 50% increase in France, and a 56% increase in Germany. And that's total sales of 42,000 electric vehicles. This is happening, this is real, and we need to find ways to make sure we have the infrastructure and the power to do that. And decentralised energy is going to be an important part of that equation. Solar will be a key feature, and if we look at some of the new building infrastructure that we have, and I'm always struck as I walk across the Thames and look at the Blackfriars Railway Bridge with the solar panels on the top of that, our buildings can help to power London. But it also needs finance as well. And so in addition to a focus on solar and electric vehicles, we'll be looking at creating the finance mechanisms to help to stimulate a move towards decentralised energy. So we believe there are significant opportunities ahead for London as we focus on jobs, resources and energy around green and clean tech, the circular economy and decentralised energy. I think Einstein's quote on insanity is particularly apt. We really do need new world thinking for new world problems. So thank you very much indeed.
Paul, thank you very much indeed. Paul, just one question, if I may. I mean, you've talked about green business and clean tech, the circular economy, decentralized energy. Which is the area of these where you think the most immediate opportunities are, and which is the one where you think the biggest delivery challenges will be?
So in terms of, I think, immediate opportunities, if we look at decentralized energy, I think there are some really quick wins in that area. Particularly if we look at our building infrastructure and the amount of new building going on in London, our buildings can help us generate. So I think there are some really quick wins there. Where I think we've got some significant challenges is as we move to a circular economy. And I talked about the challenge of just a few streets in London. If you then expand that across the whole of London, we don't have a coordinated waste collection, and therefore we don't have the coordinated ability to reprocess and turn that waste into a resource. None of this is beyond our capability. We just need the will, the skill, and the policy to make it happen.
Great, thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me, if you will, in thanking Paul Turner. Thank you.